So yeah, just like I said before in this morning, so tonight I will ask myself about 20 questions to know about myself. Yeah. So I already have the question right here. I said in Gemini to ask myself to know myself as human being. So the first question was, what is a truth you believe deeply about human nature that most people comfortably ignore? What is a truth you believe deeply about human nature that the most maybe it's about most people ignore. Maybe, right now I'm thinking about most people ignore about that human being is dynamic, not static. So human feelings are quite interesting because maybe you can love someone tonight and maybe in the next year you're not loving them anymore. Maybe some just maybe the environment, or because it's her changing or you improving or something like that. Yeah, I think that's human nature that I believe. What is the truth you believe? Yeah, that's the truth. That's the first question. So let's move on to the second question. When you look at the system, rules, and logic you build in your daily life, you are trying to create fairness. Or are you just trying to protect yourself from chaos? Ooh, heavy. The second question is heavy, bro. What the hell? When you look at the system, rules, and logic you build in your daily life, and logic I build in my daily life, are you trying to create fairness or are you just trying to protect yourself? I think I'm just trying to protect myself from chaos, because the system, the rules, the logic I build is all protecting myself from the chaos. So I don't know, maybe I'm too nihilism, because my favorite TV show is BoJack Horseman. So BoJack Horseman is, there's a question about BoJack Horseman that keep me thinking until today, that he said is wait, let me remember it. Is it worth it to be happy even though it end up sad, or is it better that it's not happening at all? Like it's so you'll not get sad because it's not happening. Because if it's happening, okay, you happy, but you will end up sad. I think that's worse. Yeah, I think it's protecting myself from the chaos, from the situation. So I just keep thinking about the worst case scenario, so I can prepare myself the worst. So next, what is the heaviest expectation you currently carry that doesn't actually belong to you? Heaviest expectation. Heaviest expectation. Heaviest expectation that maybe that I will not get a job in the next, in maybe I don't know how long, because I'm currently have a job, not a job, it's an intern, paid intern. It will end. Fuck. What the fuck? Okay, sorry everyone. So it will end up in May, which is about 1.5 months left. I don't know what to do next because I don't know, bro. I just hate it here. I just wanna go home, but I will I will miss this part. Okay, I will miss my friend here. I will miss this kind of situation. I will miss myself alone in here. You know, it's my first time to being alone, anjir. Fuck. I'm happy to being alone, but it's sad because I left my friends at home. So yeah, it's the sad part. But I'm alone, so that's the good part. Next, what's the obvious expectation? Yeah, because okay, because that's the obvious expectation. I think that because you know it's a job, so I need to get a job to pay the bills, etc. And men need to pay the bills and get a girlfriend or something. Being unemployed is the worst. Okay, next, the fourth question. In studying the darkest part of human story and sociability, what the hell is this, bro? Let me translate it quick, okay? Sorry guys, I'm not that good in English because I'm still learning. All people are still learning. Studying the darkest part of human story and the social decadence. What has it taught you about your own capacity for both cruelty and profound empathy? Heavy. That's heavy question right there. In studying the darkest part of human story, the darkest part of human story is, I think, about the genocide, social decadence. What has it taught you about your own capacity? Maybe I don't know about story, man, but I'm still reading this book. This right here is about Rwanda, about genocide in Rwanda. So yeah, this book is kinda dark because the genocide is, I don't know, I just still read about 50 pages. But what it has taught me is, what has it taught you about your capacity? What has it taught you about your capacity? I don't think I can answer this question because maybe I think it's about human just trying to live, just trying to survive, because human being is also a creature like animals, like wolf, dogs, lion, crocodile, a deer, that just trying to survive, trying to survive, trying to evolve throughout the years. So just because they have the wrong skin tone, they have the wrong race, doesn't mean you have to hate them, okay? Just because they have their own thoughts doesn't mean you have to hate them or kill them, of course. And about the human being, I think I don't know, bro. Human is dynamic, so I can tell you more. I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to answer. That's my answer. So next question. If you could watch an unedited documentary of your own life, which specific chapter will make you look away in discomfort? What to look away in discomfort? Unedited documentary, man. I think it's my school life, or since sekolah dasar until my high school, SMA. The worst part is I'm getting bullied, but in other side I'm getting better, maybe it's because the bully that I get, I don't know, it's the worst part of my life. Sorry guys, I just need to the bullying part is the worst part of my life, so I don't think I can watch that chapter, but in that chapter also I laugh a lot. I met a lot of people that I'm still contact with until today, so maybe it's the worst thing that could happen to me and the best thing that could happen to me. It changed my life a lot, So next question. When you observe how others are nurtured or failed, what is nurtured? Okay, sorry guys, just need a little quick translation. Mengamati bagaimana orang lain diasuh atau gagal diasuh, bagaimana hal itu mencerminkan cara Anda dan mendapatkan dukungan. When you observe how others are nurtured or fail to be nurtured, How does it reflect the ways you were starved or fed emotionally in your own development? Maybe it's because sometimes I see other people like, they being picky, they being being still like kids, act like kids, childish, and craving attention from other people, from social media. How does it reflect the ways I were starved or fed emotionally in my own development? Maybe it's about, does it reflect the way you were starved or fed emotionally? Yes, because sometimes I see other people like they being so confident, so straightforward. They talk like, it's easy to talk about anything, and it's easy to stop talking about something, for them. And for me it's not that easy, because I don't know, it feels weird to stop, and I just feel like I'm not respecting them. But I don't think that's the problem, so I just have to ignore that feeling. And how others are nurtured, like, I don't know, I feel like they being mature, but about other people being fail to be nurtured is reflect me how bersyukur I am. Bersyukur, what the hell is bersyukur, man? Give thanks, be grateful, be grateful. How be grateful I am to be in my life with the path I have right now. But I don't judge them. It's because their environment, my environment is different. But my development is, maybe I have a lot of things that I need to improve, seeing them to be nurtured or fail to be nurtured, so I can be better. I can learn from them also. I learn a lot from other people. Okay, next question. What is a flaw in yourself that you secretly love, absolutely refuse to fix? Fuck. Secretly love. What is flaw? Maybe being protective about myself, being nihilism, that being thinking about the worst case scenario, so I can prepare myself to not get hurt. But I love that kind point of view, Why, bro? Like, and I just love that. I just love that flower in myself. Some people say I need to fix it, but I don't think I need to fix it, you know. Okay, next question. If your character and integrity were rigorously tested, what? If your character and integrity were rigorously tested to their absolute breaking point, what is the one core component of your identity that would never fail? I think I fail at everything. But this part, I think listening to other people, but I don't think I'm not that good, you know. Yeah, listening to other people. Just listen, just be there for them. Because a lot of people said that I'm a good listener, but I don't think I am. I just being there for them, listening about their problems. I don't think they want a solution because they just want to get hurt and express their feeling, but they don't know where to go, so they choose me. That's a good thing to know. So next question, you help orchestrate perfect moments and smooth experience for others. Do you believe you are worthy of experiencing a perfect unscripted moment yourself, or do you feel only deserve what you carefully manage? Sorry guys, just translating real quick. Momen sempurna. Yeah. You have orchestrated perfect moments and smooth experience for others. Do you believe you are worthy experience of a perfect unscripted moment yourself? Do you feel only deserve what you carefully manage? I think I'm worthy to experiencing a perfect unscripted moment about myself, because if it's happened to me, then the God give it to me, then I need to embrace that feeling, embrace that happiness, embrace that sadness, embrace that everything, you know. Feel the pain, feel the happiness, feel the moment, just stay in the moment, because you will never be there anymore, because time moves, you know. Okay, next question, 10th question, what apology do you owe yourself and why haven't you delivered it yet? Fuck, I don't think I apologize for. Oh yeah, this. I don't know, maybe it's because I let people laugh at myself and I don't know where to talk about my feelings. I just dump my feelings to anyone, anywhere. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to express my feeling, how to give a story that people interested to listen. Hey, maybe I think I need to apologize for myself that being too quiet, for lying to myself. I need to be honest for myself because I lied a lot. Like maybe I'm being inconsistent. Maybe maybe it's because human is dynamic, so maybe I feel like sometimes I love this person a lot. Just because I love this person, I need to let them go because I don't think I will be happy, because I will end up sad. I think I will always end up sad, and they will left me. So yeah, I need to apologize for myself too, for thinking being negative self-talk, being punishing myself just because I talk about, just because I just don't give them the right story and the interesting story, doesn't mean I have to punish myself, I think I need to apologize myself for that. Okay, the 11th question: if you had to define your life purpose purely by things you instinctively defend, what are you defending? Life purpose. If you had to define your life purpose purely, the fuck, no voice, no connection. Sorry guys. What are you defending? Life purpose. I don't think life has meaning, I don't think life has purpose, because if you keep find a purpose, I don't think life has purpose, because the purpose of life itself is to live, not chasing something. Just live, man. Just be here, just be there. Be at the moment, feel the feeling, feel the wind, breathe, eat, take a shit. That's the purpose of life. I don't think there is another purpose of life, like maybe I need to get a jet plane, maybe I need to get rich. I don't think that's the point. I think the point of life is to feel alive and feel the life itself and being happy you know. Again, the 12th question. In system designed to heal or manage crisis, the human element is often reduced to data. Where in your own life have to reduce your emotional pain to just data to be managed rather than felt. What kind of question is this here? Dalam sistem yang dirancang untuk menyembuhkan atau mengolah krisis unsur manusia, seringkali direduksi menjadi data, dimana dalam hidup Anda sendiri Anda telah mereduksi rasa sakit emosional Anda hanya menjadi data yang perlu dikelola daripada dirasakan. Maybe the feeling of being can't do anything about certain situation, certain situation. Because I hate the feeling when I cannot do nothing in certain situation, but I feel like I need to do something. Don't think that's maybe I hate that feeling, so I don't need to feel that feeling anymore. I hate this feeling. And maybe and the second is being live, in the crowd, maybe in a group, but I feel alone. Nobody asks me, nobody talk with me, maybe just silence. Being alone in a crowd place is the worst. Maybe in a stranger, okay, because I don't know, bro. I love being alone, but being alone is the worst part. But I need that lonely feeling just to know about myself, because I don't think maybe because I'm too comfortable being alone, but I'm not comfortable enough being alone in a crowd or group, so I stay silent the whole trip. Hide that part, hide that feeling. So the next question, how much your current life trajectory is the result of calculated? How much of your current life trajectory is the result calculated? Fuck me, I need to translate this shit, bro. Seberapa besar perjalanan hidup Anda saat ini merupakan hasil dari strategi yang terencana dan kompleks, dan seberapa besar hanyalah hasil dari takdir. Just being lucky, anjir. I don't think my plan is that. I don't think my plan is getting me here, because I don't have any plan for myself. I just do what I have to do, just follow the stream. About calculation, I think it's about 10% my plan and 90% of being lucky, because I getting this job is being lucky. I don't get interview, I don't get anything, just acceptance. And the first thing I'm being lucky is when I'm getting in the middle school. I don't think I've enough GPA to get in a school, negeri, national school, then but I'm in the lowest rank, so I still get in, win is a win. But I think it's just lucky, man. And there I feel like I met a lot of people, then I'm not being lucky again at high school. I'm not getting accepted in my favorite high school. Then I'll go to the worst school in my hometown. Not the worst, because but it's just ugly, not good lah. But the good thing is I feel lucky that I've met Dayung, so I became athlete for the first time in my life. I feel like I have a purpose for the first time. I feel like I have ambition. I have friends I love every day. I feel lucky, I feel lucky a lot in this time. Yeah, 90% I'm just being lucky. And how much is simply playing the hand you were dealt? Dan seberapa besar hanya hasil dari takdir yang kita terima? Yeah, I think that's 10 out of 19%. 10 per 19, yeah. 10% I'm being planned and 19% being lucky. What is the difference between who you are when you are alone and when you are when no one is watching? What's the difference between who you are when you are alone and who you are when no one is watching? What the fuck, man? What is the difference between who you are when you are alone and who you are when no one is watching? When I'm alone and when no one is watching. If I'm being alone, I think when I'm alone, it's just me by myself, just pure silence and just pure silence. I think playing things in my head. Maybe sometimes I laugh about myself. I laugh alone. I laugh at myself. I laugh at everything in that my head thinking. And when no one is watching, maybe I sing a lot, and maybe I stare at the ceiling a lot, thinking about myself. Maybe being talkative for myself. I like talk with I like talking with myself when no one is watching. Maybe it's in my head. Sometimes I talk like this, but not that often. So next question: if your greatest fear suddenly become entirely irrelevant, what is the very first thing you will do tomorrow morning? Become entirely irrelevant. My worst fear is being have no money, being no one wants to call. Maybe the next morning I will do is go home and see my friends. Maybe buy things, buy something for myself and travel with my friends, because that's my fear. And that's tomorrow morning I will do. The first thing I will do is go home, play with my friends at Surabaya, and then I will ask everyone to play, to get some coffee or something. Okay, next. What the fuck, ini nggak bisa fokus, cok. When migrating from one phase of your life to the next, what old baggage or past identities you insist on carrying with you even when they no longer serve? What the fuck, man? Or past identities. Or past identities, eh? When is migrating from one phase of your life to the next, what old baggage or past identities do you insist on carrying with you when they no longer serve? Maybe I'm trying to be myself. Maybe I'm trying to be loud. Maybe I'm trying to be pure. Maybe, maybe I'm trying to be pure. I'm trying to be raw. I'm trying to be vulnerable to some people. Carrying baggage is I think that's it. Past identities I'm carrying. I don't think I cannot think anything right now. Just maybe just that. Yeah, maybe just that. Who will you be if you permanently stop trying to prove your worth to people who aren't paying attention? Who would you be if you permanently stop trying to prove your worth? I don't think I'm trying to prove my worth to certain people. Maybe I am, maybe not. I don't know. Who would you be if you were permanently stop trying to prove your worth to people who are paying? can't think anything, bro. Who am I if I permanently stop trying to prove my self-worth? I guess the answer is I don't know. I don't think I try to prove my worth. Maybe it is, maybe just because money is everything, I just want to get a job, get a steady job, and not just steady job, maybe I want to build a business and etc. so I can make other people happy, help other people. I don't know. I don't know. I can think of anything right now. What is a memory you have romanticize to avoid facing the painful truth? What actually happened? What is untuk menghindari menghadapi kebenaran? Memory I romanticize, maybe the high school part, being there with my friends. Where I laugh like screaming until I cannot breathe in high school, in my athletic era, being athlete, being have some ambition, being laugh a lot with people around me, not laugh about myself, just laugh a lot with them, laugh about anything, going anywhere we want, and yeah, that's the memory I romanticize. When are you the most authentic version of yourself, and what is the real reason you hide that version? The rest of your world. Authentic version of myself, I don't know, bro. Maybe authentic version of myself. What is the real reason you hate that version of yourself? I can't think anything right now. I don't think I can answer this question. So next, when your life is over, what is one question you hope the universe asks you about how you live? When your life is over, what is the one question you hope that universe asks you about how you live? What is one question you hope the universe asks you? Maybe about how I live. I think I want the universe asks me that, do I enjoy my life? Do I enjoy my life? Do I satisfied with it? Am I happy? I don't think I'm happy, but if I get satisfied, I am satisfied enough. Do I enjoy? I want to get enjoyed with my life. I think that's it. That's my answer, and maybe I'm sorry there's some question I cannot answer today. Maybe I can answer in the next time, next week, next month, maybe when I truly know about myself. I don't remember what I'm answering with this question, so maybe I just trying to get to see my video and evaluate myself, Okay, thank you all for watching. We'll get to the next video, next part of my life. Bye bye.